Okay, so this is Soulless Ginger here, and I am doing a game review of Curse of the Dead Gods. Now, heads up, I've already done the tutorial that just gives you the basic controls of how to play this game. As you can see here, now I got 12 crystal skulls. I do actually have quite a bit of time in this game. I had to learn how to play it a little bit before I decided to make this review. This game does go live February 23rd, 2021. My first impressions of the game when I originally first got it was, damn, this game reminds me a lot of Hades. And I've also come to find out that this game was developed in France, apparently. Not that it really matters where it was, brought to life, so to speak, but just a little tidbit. Our character here basically wandered into this dungeon or temple, touched the door, and now he's got a glowing hand that receives curses as you proceed through the temple. As you can see there, this is the, I guess you want to call the beta alpha or whatever, early access, 22.1.4, 1.1.4, what the fuck ever. Anyhow, there's the Jaguar Temple, there is the Eagle Temple, and there is the Serpent Temple. Now, in my gameplay, I have to say this. Jaguar Temple is, for the most part, not too terrible. Definitely where you want to start off at. The game does get progressively harder, obviously, as you go down and complete the areas. Eagle Temple is the devil, okay? There are more traps in this temple than any others. So, run the Jaguar Temple first, run the Serpent Temple for a little bit, and then try to tackle the Eagle Temple. You do not have to complete each temple in succession before moving on to the next one. And each level in the beginning of each temple is basically your beginning level, easy mode. Is basically the best way I can put that. And then you have your special events. You gain one of these for every actual 24 hours in life, or in real life hours. So forgive me because I don't have any editing software yet, and this is going to be a raw recording. So we'll go ahead and start off with the Jaguar Temple. You get your little options here, and you can see this is the path that you can choose. Relics are items that you can acquire. They give you boosts like 45% critical damage. They allow you to heal, and other little tidbits. They're very handy. Gold is obviously gold. The little plus sign you see on the map, that's your health. You want to really avoid doing that because there is a price for healing. It does curse you. Usually the best bet to do is to go with the money. However, I am a little bit experienced, so I'm not too worried about getting cursed. Because there are a few levels of curse. The final level of curse can be a real pain unless you have a certain relic. A certain relic called the Crown will give you plus 40 in dexterity life, and perception. The more perception you have, the greater area of effect you can see with. So, we'll go ahead here. There's little timing weapons. I would strongly advise taking out the floating guys first, because if they hit you with those projectiles, it does add to your curse. And you really don't want curses. Now, heavy two-handed weapons such as hammers and broken swords, or swords in general, will break these walls that are cracked. Very handy. And so will these bombs right here, as long as they're within the exploding area. You will find a lot of these. Some of these doors or hidden walls actually have traps. You gotta watch out for those. See, there's gold behind that door. Oh, and there's traps. You gotta watch out for those traps. Now, as you can see the traps on my screen, if I don't have my torch lit, you can't see them. So, that's why you need your torch. There are advantages to it, there are disadvantages to it. Well, major disadvantages, you don't have a fucking weapon. And yes, I said the F word. I am not a PG person. So let's go ahead and run through this a little bit. Kill a few guys. Skulls you acquire are for when you actually complete the temple or die. You find yourself back in the starting room. You can use those to build temples, or altars, I should say. And the altars are where you get your starting weapons. Make sure there's no spikes over here. And like I said, try to take these guys out first if you can. I'm not too worried about them right now because, like I said, I've got a little bit of experience in the game under my belt. I am not the best player at this game by far. There are way better players than I am. Alright, now here's the relics that I was talking about. For example, you get your 15% damage to poison and so forth. Now, when you're in the dark, okay, this is very important, you take extra damage. Okay? So you want to be in the light as much as possible. You also deal more damage when you're in the light. Unless you have this relic, which increases your damage in the darkness. I like to fight in the darkness. Because you don't always get to light your light. There are little podiums that you can light that will give you some light while you're fighting. Unfortunately, they can be broken very easily by the enemies and by you, depending on the weapon that you're using. So I would recommend getting accustomed to fighting in the dark. You really only need your torch if you want to set an enemy on fire. Oh, see, here's a curse. There are 5 curse levels. This one, enemies killed while burning explode. See, this is helpful for me because as long as the enemy's on fire, which I will show you. Here, give me an example. This guy right here. We're going to go ahead and kill him. And he hit me because I wasn't paying attention. See, he exploded because he was on fire. That's beneficial because any enemy caught in the explosion area will obviously die. But it will hurt you also. So, it's benefits and unbenefit. You know, I mean, pros and cons to everything in life, I guess, right? See, here's one of the pedestals I was talking about that you can set on fire, grant you some light. There we go. Now, I don't need my torch, and I can see. And the big guy took out the torch like I figured he would. Now I have to fight in the darkness. Now, I also take more damage if I get hit in the dark. So, you gotta be careful about that. Now, as you can see, there are no traps here, right? Boom, traps. It's a bitch. Always be aware of your surroundings, because they will bite you in the ass. Now, the game is absolutely loving me right now because of this. Now, this weapon again has its pros and its cons. This will give me 10% life for all damage dealt. Okay, but it has gained 1 corruption for each enemy killed. So as long as I don't kill an enemy with this weapon, it's 100% beneficial. But if I just go in there and start whacking the hell out of everybody, killing everyone, I'm going to end up with a lot of curse. I don't need this right now. The game is being overly generous giving this to me right off the bat. But I will take this. This is my double-handed weapon, heavy weapon. As you can see, the bonuses that it comes with it. And see, here you go. 2-handed weapons. Underneath your character, you may have noticed these little balls underneath of my guy. That's your stamina. As you dodge, you lose them. If you happen to parry your enemy, you normally gain your stamina back, or you can gain all of it back depending on how you have your guys set up before entering the temple, which I will cover also in this review. When using your 2-handed big weapon, you will spend a stamina point for every attack. While you are out of little balls, you cannot use your double-handed weapon, nor can you roll and avoid attacks. So it's always important to keep an eye on that. Unless you're very good at parrying the enemies, I'd always recommend keeping 1 little ball. By the way, I love this game. Okay, let's get this out the way. This game is fantastic. It reminded me of Hades. I jumped on it. I bought it because it reminded me of Hades. and I went the wrong way because I was a coward and I wanted that gold. But the gameplay is very smooth, very responsive. And like I said, it comes out in tandem to the complete full glory that is this game on the 23rd. Little note, when using heavy weapons, if an enemy is in the process of doing an attack, and you manage to hit that enemy with a heavy weapon, which would be your Y button if you're using an Xbox controller, or your triangle button if you're using a PlayStation controller. I'm playing on the computer. 1 second, please. Forgive me for that. Like I said, this is a raw recording, and I do have some family things going on. Where was I? Oh, I was praising this game. This game is absolutely beautiful. So, we're going to continue on with this as, obviously, because we're not going to end it. You know, that'd be kind of lame, wouldn't it? I just play a few seconds of the game, say it's great, and that's it. Review over. No. But I did forget what I was talking about. Oh, here we go. Damage increase based on perception. Now, again, like I said, perception has to do with your visual acuity, how much you can see when your torch is lit, or when you have a pedestal lit, as you can see. I also believe it has to do with your gold, how much gold you happen to find on the ground. I haven't actually put any effort into figuring that out yet, so don't hold me to it. But this is a review. More a review, less of a gameplay. I will be doing a gameplay of this also, but, you know, it is what it is. Remember, you take more damage in this game in the dark. And that hurt. Also, weapon combos, such as that, will also normally stop your enemy from attacking. Instead of wasting your dexterity points on, or your stamina points on using a heavy weapon, you can do a weapon combo. One swing, boom. That move right there will stop an enemy, normally. But like I said, this game is great. The difficulty curve is fair, but it can spike, especially if you're in the Eagle Temple. Okay, like I said, the Eagle Temple is the devil. You don't want to start off there. It's just bad all the way around. Okay. When coming to these altars, you can either pay with the gold that you find to get your relics, weapons, or attributes, or you can accept some curse, and it will tell you what the curse is, how much you will accept. Next on the thing, I'll take a little bit more time and be more thorough about this. Now, like I said, with healing, this is your healing pool. If you come to this and you say, "Hey, I want some healing," but you're cursed and you happen to have all 4 curses, and you're just about to get that final curse. You don't want that. You don't want to do this healing because every time you heal, you take 10 curse points, which really doesn't seem like a lot, but when you take into consideration that every time you walk through a door, you receive 20 curse points, so it adds up very quickly. Especially if you're paying in curses to get your items. So you really just don't want that. Pretty much every attack in this game is blockable. These orbs, block them. The big guy who swings his attacks, block him. Unless he's jumping at you. If he's jumping at you, get the hell out the way. Now, as far as the developers and all that like that, I don't think I've actually talked with any of the developers. I am part of the. I am a member. I am on the Discord, but so are a lot of people. So it doesn't make me anybody special or anything like that. But they're very lenient people. I've made several mistakes when it comes to streaming. Huh. I don't think I've ever played with that weapon before. We'll do this. Little tidbit of advice. I found this out also. Shields actually give you an extra 2 frames for parrying. So if you're not 100% on point when it comes to your parries, having the shield with you will give you an extra 2 frames to parry. It doesn't. 2 frames really isn't a lot, but it does make a noticeable difference. Another thing I like to do sometimes is I like to gather the enemies all around me if I can, and I set them on fire and blow them up because there are environmental kills, and I got very lucky with that. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 obviously being the best of the best, Curse of the Dead Gods, I would have to give a solid 8 out of 10. Now, the fact that it is not a 10 out of 10, please don't let that affect your judgment, because I have never given a game more than 8 out of 10. If I sit there and tell you a game is 9 out of 10, it's an amazing game. I tell you a game is 8 out of 10, it is also an amazing game. Alright, so... Oh, also, later I'll explain this when the time comes, but you will be able to do a little gambling when it comes to these altars. A reroll, if you will. Now, we're coming up here to the end of this run, because this is just the first area. You know, there's only one main boss. Your shield has a nice little extra bonus to it. When you charge it up, it will always stop an enemy in their tracks with their attack. Always. And a lot of shields also have a wonderful ability and a chance to sometimes automatically parry your enemies for you, which is also very nice, and it comes in handy a lot. See the big guy? He's going to attack me. Now I'm waiting for the big guy. Stopped. The little guy, I couldn't do nothing about him. See, the shields, they're handy for this very reason. It will always stop the enemy attacking me. And see if I can get him to jump attack me. Nope. Okay. And it's giving me this weapon again. That's because this is my first dungeon run. Now, bosses in this game have a little secret to them. There are certain hidden objectives. For the example, this is the Jaguar boss. He summons little jaguars that you have to help him out. If you kill all the jaguars and keep them dead, as you killed him, you will usually receive a bonus weapon. There's a 20% chance of getting nice little weapon drops. There's even a chance of getting his weapon. All bosses, from what I understand, are going to have this feature. Because this is the beta, there's only a couple bosses that this works with right now. But each boss has their own requirements in order to make this happen. And a lot of times when you hit an enemy, especially if it's if they melee attack you, you will weaken the enemy. Now, if I was on a harder dungeon difficulty, which the next run would be, and I'd get to go through that door over there, he would drop lots of goodies. And upon beating the bosses of the temple, you move on to this point right here. Not too bad. Not too great either. I took my time with that. So. And here's one of the altars I was speaking of. The altars will randomly give you weapons, and boons and so forth for starting off the game with. This is your little blessing screens. Blessings, Forsaken Weaponry, altars, and Divine Favors. Divine Favors are your rerolls when it comes to the altars. Always unlock at least one or two of them. Blessings are your little bonus boons. They tell you what they do. You can have 3 of them total in your starting runs. Just like that. Now, just like with the game Dead Cells, if you unlock weapons, you can end up getting hit with starter weapons. If you unlock everything, you're going to have the chance of getting everything. If you only unlock certain items, you're only going to get those certain items. So, once you figure out everything for this game, what weapons you like, what weapons you don't like, delete your save file, start all over again, basically. It doesn't take long. It's just the name of the game. And then pick the weapons that you really like. I had a deep hatred for guns in this game, but I've come to appreciate them. I also like the throwables, and I highly recommend this one right here called the Titan Slayer. It is a boss killing weapon from hell. It's your best friend. Okay, well, with that nice little 12-minute gameplay, this is my review. I am Soulless Ginger. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. And before I sign off officially, we're going to give a quick little final rundown of this game. Gameplay mechanics are wonderful. Not original, but wonderful. The graphics in this game are great. They're fantastic. I love them. It reminds me of Hades. Hades is one of my favorite games. The controls are fully responsive. Great response from the games, especially using the controller. I like to use the controller if I can. I do play on the PC. But I use the game controller. What can you do? Let me see what else. Game graphics, controller response. I don't really know much about the damn storyline, other than the fact that our guy stumbled in there, so I can't give you an answer of the storyline. Would I recommend this game to be bought? Yes. Yes, I would. In fact, I like this game so much, I would even offer to buy it for somebody else if they really, really wanted it. Not saying that I'm going to do that for anybody else, especially if I don't know you. Okay, so don't go there. But this game is definitely worth a buy. The difficulty curve in this game is very fair. Like I just did the first dungeon. Okay, so we're going to take a look here. As you can see, I just unlocked the next area. You know, medium exploration, long exploration, hard exploration, very hard exploration. Now, the one thing I will say, and you need to remember this, the final temple part, the final exploration, is time. Okay, if you do not beat it within the time limit you managed to acquire, you will be hit with the death beam. Okay, and what I mean by acquire is that every enemy you kill will give you so much time added to your time span. The timer does not stop at any point unless you are looking at an altar or choosing the next area to move on to. It does not stop when you're fighting a boss. So, and it will kill you if you run out of time while fighting a boss. Trust me, I know. I found out the hard way. I didn't even notice the timer. That's a whole other rage story right there. Um, and depending on how many enemies you kill consecutively in succession or at the same time, depends on your time bonus given. So, with that, my name is Soulless Ginger, and I will give Curse of the Dead Gods a solid 8 out of 10, a must-buy for anybody who likes rogue action type games. Sorry, I have a hard time speaking sometimes. I really do. And if at any point if you're all interested, here's a little shameless promotion. I also have a Twitch account, and I stream regularly on Twitch. It is Soulez Ginger, SOULEZZX Ginger, just as same as my YouTube. So thank you for taking the time out of your day or night or evening or whatever and watching my review. So with that, I will say goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Sayonara. Vaspadan.